Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our live coverage of another Starlink mission from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station, Space Launch Complex 40, from the Space Coast. We are awaiting for a Falcon 9 liftoff at 10:35 p.m. Eastern Time from Slick 40, Eastern Florida, for a southeasterly launch for SpaceX Starlink mission. The Starlink mission 6-62 will launch 23 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit. This launch marks SpaceX's 348th overall launch. Hello, my name is Dipta Maitra, performing the commentary for today's mission launch. We are super excited bringing you the coverage of SpaceX's 54th overall launch and the 53rd launch of Falcon 9 of this year. This will be the 37th dedicated Starlink mission of the year for SpaceX. Prior to today's launch, SpaceX has launched 811 Starlink satellites so far, over 36 flights this year, and overall 6,459 Starlink satellites to date. Now, before getting into the mission details, we have some news for you regarding the postponement of an upcoming launch. The crew flight test of Boeing's Starliner spacecraft is no longer targeting Saturday, that is on May 25th. Starliner crew flight test is postponed yet again, but in a recent statement just about yesterday, NASA announced that the Boeing Starliner crew flight test is now aiming for June 1st at 12:25 p.m. Eastern Daytime, which is 16 hours and 25 minutes UTC, with backup dates on June 2nd, 5th, and 6th, respectively. Additionally, a news briefing is scheduled for Friday, May 24th at 11 a.m. Eastern Daytime. Now let's hope to hear something good regarding the launch. Another update, Starlink achieved its first video call on X through Starlink direct-to-cell capabilities from unmodified mobile phones. Starlink is expecting to go live with T-Mobile later this year. Now just a heads up, it's just me running the show for our launches, so if we hit any technical snags, hang tight, but don't worry, I will do my best to walk you through the Falcon 9 rocket launch happening in 50 minutes and 4 seconds and counting. Now let's get back to today's mission. So far, SpaceX reports that the weather is looking good for today's Falcon 9 launch opportunity, and the range is ready to support, having only 5% probability of violation and 95% favorable outcome, with the small primary concern being cumulus cloud rule. We hope that they are able to hit the start of the launch window and not have to push too far, but if for some reason we do not launch today, we do have the backup opportunity tomorrow, that is Thursday, May 23rd, with launch window opening at 10:06 p.m. Eastern Time. SpaceX is currently targeting a liftoff time of Falcon 9 from Cape Canaveral at 10:35 p.m. Eastern Time, which will be 7:35 p.m. Pacific Time and 2:35 a.m. UTC on Thursday for our friends joining from around the globe. Now let's take a look at today's payload details. This launch marks the 37th dedicated Starlink launch for this year. Now here is a fun fact. At the inception, the two identical Starlink test satellites called Microsat 2A and Microsat 2B were launched on 22nd February back in 2018. Upon orbital deployment, they were renamed to Tintin A and Tintin B. So Tintin A and Tintin B are the first Starlink satellites to be launched. Starlink, Starlink satellites are built at SpaceX Satellite Development Facility in Redmond, Washington. Today's launch consists of 23 version 2 mini satellites. The version 2 variant of Starlink is too large to fit inside a Falcon 9 fairing and is meant to be launched by Starship only. So for that, SpaceX indicated they would build satellites of the second generation constellation in two different but technically identical form factors. One with a physical structure tailored to launch on Falcon 9, that is version 2 mini, and another tailored for the launch on Starships, that is version 2. Each Starlink satellite is equipped with four powerful phased array antennas and two parabolic antennas to provide increased capacity. These phased array antennas utilize Ku, Ka, and E-band frequencies, allowing Starlink to provide 4 times more capacity per satellite than earlier versions. Each satellite features a single solar array with a size of 52.5 square meters, which unfurls to a wingspan of 100 feet. Some units of Starlink satellites have laser transponders for intercommunication and optical inter-satellite links, or ISLs, enabling the spacecraft to transmit data through local ground enabling the spacecraft to transmit data without local ground stations, providing truly global coverage. Each Starlink version 2 mini satellite weighs nearly 800 kilograms, that is 1,763 pounds. Starlink satellites are equipped with efficient ion Hall effect thrusters powered by argon, which enables Starlink satellites to orbit raise, maneuver in space, and deorbit at the end of their useful life. Starlink is the first Krypton-propelled spacecraft ever flown. Later switched to argon Hall effect thrusters to be cost-effective. Relative to Krypton, the argon required to fuel Starlink version 2 satellites will be practically free. To put it into perspective, fueling its next constellation of almost 30,000 version 2 satellites would cost SpaceX less than fueling 4,000 version 1 satellites, which were based on Krypton. Also, SpaceX claims that its second generation thrusters using argon has 2.4 times the thrust and 1.5 times the specific impulse of previously Krypton-fueled thrusters. Today's payload will be placed in an orbit with an altitude of 530 kilometers and an inclination of 43 degrees. But this configuration does not apply to every Starlink satellite. Starlink satellites are placed in different configurations based on their group. For Group 5 and Group 6, the nominal altitude is 530 km with an inclination of 43 degrees. For Group 7, the nominal altitude is 525 km with an inclination of 53 degrees, and for Group 8 the nominal altitude is 535 kilometers with an inclination of 53 degrees. Starlink uses custom-built navigation sensors named star trackers that survey the stars to determine each satellite's location, altitude, and orientation for better possible broadband throughput. Also worth mentioning, the Starlink satellites are equipped with an autonomous collision avoidance system for avoiding collision with other spacecraft and space junk autonomously, which utilizes the US Department of Defense debris tracking database. Now let's into the flight history of the booster supporting today's mission, that is Starlink Group 6-62 mission. It's a booster with tail number 1080, which is quite a young booster with 7 previous flights in its record, including missions like ESA Euclid, Axiom Mission 2, Axiom Mission 3, Commercial Resupply 30, and 3 Starlink missions. Now awaiting its 8th flight, just 41 minutes away. Previously with Starlink Group 6-59 launch on May 17 from Cape Canaveral, SpaceX achieved a record. For the first time, a Falcon booster with tail number 1062 launched for record-breaking 21st time. Currently, other boosters with tail number 1060 and 1061 have 20 launches so far as their milestones. Now speaking of ESA Euclid, it reminds me ESA is releasing a set of full-color images captured by the Space Telescope Euclid on May 23rd. 5 new portraits of our cosmos were captured during Euclid's early observation phase, each revealing amazing new science. So be sure to tune in to ESA's official channel. Now let's have a look at the bar graphs. Before today's launch, SpaceX completed 52 launches of Falcon 9 so far this year as part of its milestone, with NROL-146 mission launch. SpaceX hit a big milestone this year, 50th launch with previous Starlink 8 mission from Vandenberg Space Force Base. That's just 2 more than half of last year's Falcon 9 launches, which totaled 49. This year's count already surpasses the total number of Falcon 9 launches from all the years leading up to 2021, and they are now getting close to launches made in 2022. Now with today's launch, the bar graph shows 53 Falcon 9 launches so far this year. They have already done half as many launches as they did all of last year, and it's only been 4 months and 22 days on. If they keep up with this pace, they are on track to hit 140 to 148 launches by the end of the year. SpaceX is pushing hard enough towards their big goals. We are currently at T minus 38 minutes and 13 seconds into the countdown. Just shortly, SpaceX launch director will provide go for propellant load into the first stage and second stage with RP1 rocket grade kerosene. So let's go ahead as we progress through the countdown and review the milestones that lie ahead of us on this Cape Canaveral flight. At T minus 38 minutes, countdown begins at this point when SpaceX launch director gives the go for the start of propellant load. If everything looks fine, prop load begins at T minus 30 minutes mark with the loading of rocket grade kerosene or RP1 on board the first and second stages of Falcon 9 rocket. At the same time, LOX load, that is super chilled liquid oxygen, is loaded on board the first stage. And then at T minus 16 minutes, which will be the next event that we are looking for here, that's when the second stage liquid oxygen load begins. At T minus 7 minutes, that's when the chill down of 9 Merlin engines gets underway. It involves flowing a small amount of liquid oxygen through the plumbing and turbo pumps, which helps protect the engine from the risk of thermal shock and damages during the startup sequence. At about 6 minutes before liftoff, the first stage kerosene tank should be full. In a T minus 4.5 minute, the strong back retract sequence begins. The process begins with the clamp arms underneath the payload fairings opening up, followed by the transport ejector or strong back declining about a degree and a half away from the Falcon 9. It remains in that position until liftoff. It is when it rapidly pulls back to clear the way for Falcon 9 vertical ascent. So the strong back position alongside the vehicle, also referred as transport ejector, fulfills multiple functions. It supplies propellant, provides air conditioning, pressurization gases, and electrical power. Additionally, it transports the Falcon 9 to the launch pad and positions it for the launch. Now at T minus 3 minutes mark, the first stage liquid oxygen loading should be complete, followed by the second stage liquid oxygen loading wrapping up at the T minus 2 minute mark. At that point, the Falcon 9 rocket is fully fueled with 1 million pounds of propellant. At T minus 1 minute mark, the propellant tanks are brought up to flight pressure. In the final 60 seconds of countdown, the control of flight system, that is launch sequence, is handed over from the ground sequencer to Falcon 9's onboard flight computers. If everything looks good, at T minus 45 seconds mark, the launch director will give the final go for Falcon 9 liftoff. Now at T minus 3 seconds, the engine ignition sequence start command being issued by onboard engine controller. Finally, at T0, we have liftoff. If all 9 Merlin 1D engines ignite and are healthy, flight computers will give the command for hold down clamps to release the Falcon 9. Currently we are targeting 10:35 p.m. Eastern Time, which will be 7:35 p.m. Pacific Time and 2:35 a.m. UTC on Thursday. So far the launch is on time. There is no more delays to the launch time till now. So let's go ahead and briefly step through the trajectory for today's mission. Falcon 9 will lift off from Space Launch Complex 40 from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station with the spacecraft on board, the batch of 23 Starlink satellites for a southeast trajectory heading into low Earth orbit. That is to the sixth shell of Starlink constellation, indicated by that green line on your screen. The red line indicates where Falcon 9 first stage will land after stage separation, just a little later leaving Florida's Space Force. This is going to be a drone ship landing using autonomous spaceport drone ship named A Shortfall of Gravitas, one of the two here on East Coast, which means that the first stage booster with tail number 1080 flying for its 8th time will be returning heading out to drone ship for its landing. Now currently there are 3 in SpaceX drone ship fleet. We expect the addition of a 4th drone ship likely by the end of this year or earlier next year. Of the 3 drone ships, just read the instructions and A Shortfall of Gravitas are stationed here in Florida, while Of Course I Still Love You is located in California. Now moving on and talking about the fairing recovery. The two halves of the payload fairing will be recovered slightly farther downrange from where the first stage lands on the drone ship after they will smoothly splash down with the guidance of parachutes. SpaceX will utilize a recovery vessel to retrieve them from the Atlantic waters. SpaceX manufactures the fairing in-house, with the total cost for two halves is nearly $6 million. No wonder that SpaceX aims to recover the fairings for repeated use, mirroring their approach with rocket boosters, upholding the motto of reusability and sustainability. SpaceX has dedicated years of effort to the recovery and reuse of payload fairings. You can see on your screen how a fairing recovery looks like. Today's recovery vessel will be Doug, another recovery vessel, Bob, currently awaiting its next assignment. For the recent NROL-146 mission, the fairing recovery vessel was Go Beyond. SpaceX has named its two new recovery ships, Bob and Doug, after NASA astronauts and the first crew SpaceX launched for NASA under Commercial Crew Program, Bob Bacon and Doug Hurley, on Demo 2 mission to the International Space Station back in 2020. Now here is a video of a fairing half as it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. You can see a creation of a halo around it due to the atmospheric friction. If time permits, we will talk about the various parts of our Falcon 9 launch vehicle. Now let's have a quick look through the launch timeline for Falcon 9 rocket passing these events following liftoff. At t plus 1 minute and 12 seconds, Falcon 9 will pass through max Q, a point of greatest aerodynamic pressure on the vehicle. Then there will be a couple of different milestones in rapid succession. First will be the first stage main engine cutoff, that is MECO, at t plus 2 minutes and 30 seconds, followed by a major milestone within 3 seconds at t plus 2 minutes and 33 seconds, where first and second stage will separate from each other. Just after 7 seconds later, second stage MVAC engine will ignite for its first time during the flight, that is ACS-1 at t plus 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Coming up next at t plus 3 minutes and 7 seconds mark, Falcon 9's payload fairing will be jettisoned. At t plus 6 minutes and 3 seconds, the first stage entry burn will begin, lasting for 22 seconds up to 6 minutes and 25 seconds mark, ending the entry burn for the first stage. At this time around, we will hear the callouts for stage 1 FTS, that is flight termination system being safe. The stage 1 FTS is safe, or one can say flight termination system are turned off or disabled after the re-entry burn, while the stage 2 FTS is safe after the orbital insertion burn. We will also hear the callouts for stage 1 being transonic and stage 2 being in terminal guidance. Next major milestone at t plus 7 minutes and 50 seconds, the first stage landing burn will begin, which will orient and set up the first stage for SpaceX iconic precision landing. At t plus 8 minutes and 12 seconds, the first stage will land on droneship, A Shortfall of Gravitas. This will be the SpaceX 311th landing of drone. The second stage MVAC engine will shut down, that is SECO-1, and enter into a parking orbit at t plus 8 minutes and 44 seconds. Now at t plus 54 minutes and 3 seconds, the second stage MVAC engine will reignite for a short 2-second burn, that is SES-2, and turning it off at t plus 54 minutes and 5 seconds, that is SECO-2, which will set up Starlink satellite deployment at approximately t plus 1 hour, 5 minutes and 12 seconds. Now here is a short time-lapse video of onboard view of the Falcon 9 first stage from liftoff to a land landing. As we have liftoff, surpassing the max Q point, we will witness the stage separation. Following that, the vehicle will rise towards the apogee for deploying the hypersonic grid fins to position and orient the first stage for landing. You may notice intermittent bursts of nitrogen gas or altitude control. Then there will be an entry burn as we re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. Finally, the landing burn will commence with landing legs deployed for a smooth and successful landing. Now coming to some stats related to today's mission launch. Today's launch marks 348th SpaceX overall launch and the 37th dedicated launch of Starlink satellite for this year. This is the 337th Falcon 9 launch to date. This will be the 8th flight of this particular Falcon 9 booster with tail number 1080 supporting today's mission. It is the 53rd Falcon 9 launch of 2024 so far, and is SpaceX 54th overall launch of this year, including the third integrated flight test of Starship. Expecting the next fourth integrated flight test in about 2 weeks, probably around 1st of June. Also, we got some news about Starliner crew flight test that is now targeting on 1st of June. This is SpaceX 282nd Falcon booster flight to date, that is the launch of a booster that has flown at least once before. 187th orbital launch for SpaceX, launching from Slick 40. This is the 242nd overall orbital launch from this pad, that is Space Launch Complex 40. With this mission, SpaceX will have a remarkable 6,482 Starlink satellites launched to date. Now, before moving on to further stats, let's look out into the chat. Hello, Fairmate. Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Hope you are doing well, and also we hope that you will enjoy the stream and overlooking this ugly voice. Also, we will welcome our one and only bestie, that is Simon Haga. Welcome, Simon. Hope you are doing well. Thanks for joining back. Yesterday also you joined us. Thanks for that. So now guys, keep watching the stream. Now moving on to some reusability statistics. This launch marks 268th Falcon 9 launch booster reflight to date. This is the 71st landing on A Shortfall of Gravitas droneship. This will be the 8th landing of first stage booster with tail number 1080. With this mission's landing, which paves the way to the 243rd overall droneship landing, marking 294th Falcon 9 landing to date and 311th SpaceX overall booster landing to date. Now here is a thing worth mentioning among the drone ships. A Shortfall of Gravitas has a flawless record with 0 unsuccessful landing attempts and 70 successful landings. In comparison, Just Read the Instruction has encountered 3 unsuccessful landings with 81 successful landings, while Of Course I Still Love You has experienced 7 unsuccessful landings and 91 successful landings. This gives A Shortfall of Gravitas the lead in successful and clean droneship landing attempts. Although, please mind, the stats mentioned here are excluding today's mission. Now let's have a quick look into some key stats for SpaceX launches in this year, including today's mission. So SpaceX has a total of 54 launches, and out of those 16 were non-Starlink missions. Earlier today we had NROL-146 mission, which is a non-Starlink mission. They have reused booster for 51 times in those launches, showing their commitment to sustainability and reusability. Now looking into the geographical distribution, we get they have 36 launches from East Coast, with 11 from Launch Complex 39A, that is from Kennedy Space Center, and 25 from Space Launch Complex 40, one from today's mission. On the West Coast, 17 launches, all from Space Launch Complex 4E, that is from Vandenberg. Plus there was one launch from the Gulf Coast of Starbase back in Texas for the Starship third integrated flight test. As for landings, they have nailed it 52 times. Most of them were on drone ships with 40 successful landings, 14 on Of Course I Still Love You, 10 on Just Read the Instructions, and 16 on A Shortfall of Gravitas, including one from today. And for ground landings, they have pulled off 12, 8 times on landing zone 1, only 1 time on landing zone 2, and 3 times on landing zone 4 respectively. Firstly, we would like to welcome Submarine Corp 8. I hope I could pronounce the name in a right way. Yes, of course, I know what about you are complaining, but we are now running out of resources. So for that, please, we expect your understanding and love. Please bear with us with this BTC voice as per your wording. But anyways, thanks for visiting us, and we hope that you will enjoy the stream. Now moving on to this year's orbital launches, including today's one. The United States is dominating with 61 orbital launches, launch comprising a substantial 61.6% of global total. Recently on 19th May, we had a suborbital launch of Blue Origin New Shepard NS-25 crewed mission, their first crewed mission since back in 2022. While China follows closely behind, accounting for 24.2% with 24 launches. Russia maintains a steady pace with 7 launches, with a recent Soyuz 2.1B launch of a classified payload on May 17. making 7.1% of the pie. While Japan has 3 launches so far, both India and Iran have entered the fray with 2 launches each. While it is a close competition, but the United States and China are undeniably dominating this year. So now we have this pie chart showing 2024 orbital launches by rocket British, including today's launch. Let's have a look and let me break it down for you. The green slice of the pie, that's the Falcon 9 rocket, a heavy hitter this year with 53 launches, making up more than half of the whole pie at 53.8% and leading. Then the green slice, then we got the purple slice labeled others, which is a mix of different rockets, including Delta IV Heavy, Starship, Vulcan Centaur, ISRO's GSLV Mark II and PSLV TL, Japan's H3 and H2A, Iran's Simokra and Kayam 100, Russia's Angara A5, China's Gravity 1, and others. The names are not exhaustive. They have got 28 launches in total, which is 26.9% of the pie. That's not too bad. Next up, we got the Rocket Lab's Electron with 5 launches making 5.4% of the pie, and Soyuz 2 rockets with 6 launches so far this year with 6.5% of the pie. Now Rocket Lab's 48th Electron launch with Ready Aim Free Fire mission launching NASA's Free Fire CubeSat payload is postponed from 22nd May to 25th May due to weather conditions. Last but not least, we got China's CZ-2D and CZ-2C rockets. The CZ-2D has 4 launches, making 4.3% of the pie, and CZ-2C has 3 launches with 3.2% of the pie. They might be smaller slices of the pie, but every launch counts. Now we are currently at T minus 9 minutes and 33 seconds into the countdown. As we move to the countdown, we want to thank all of you joining us live. We appreciate you being here. If you haven't already, please like this video to help YouTube's algorithm bring in some more space fans and rocket enthusiasts. Also, it will be so kind of you subscribing to us. We are super grateful for your support. A big thanks to our amazing YouTube channel community joining us today. We are truly thankful for every one of you on this live stream. Your support means the world to us. Thank you all. Now, as we are just 2 minutes away from the webcast to begin. Just have a look at one of these cool videos. This is the fairing test being going on by NASA, by SpaceX. This video is being slowed down as because the event occurs at 4 times faster than the speed of sound. Also, before moving on, please have a look at today's trajectory. Now let's move on and watch the webcast. While the webcast begins, let's look into the chat. Firstly, want to thank Joe Carlos Vera. I hope I could pronounce your name right. If pronounced wrong, please pardon. Thanks for subscribing to us. Also, we would like to welcome back our one of most loyal subscriber, Pop Tripika. Thanks for joining back. Hope you are doing well, Pop Tripika. And yes, we are also thrilled to have this liftoff. So let's see when this web coverage starts.
Tanks are pressing for strong battery track.
And you have heard the call out with pressurizing the tanks. We are adding a bit of gas to firm up the tanks so the clamp arms can open with a solid structure holding the Falcon 9. Once the arms are open, we start reclining the strong back about 1.5 degrees away from the Falcon 9. At T-minus,
Strong battery track has started.
we have heard the call out. The process is now underway, and you can see the clamp arms around stage 2 are now coming to open. You are seeing the clamp arms opening up here underneath the payload fairing, the transport director reclining 1.5 degrees from the vehicle. Now less than 4 minutes away from lift. Coming up on T minus 3 minutes, everything continues to be go. We are currently chilling in the Merlin engine stack from T minus 7 minutes when we open up the pre-valves, which allows the propellant down to engines to get them prepared for the ignition just before T0. You can see the strong back is now retracting away. It is a slow process. We have hydraulic actuators at the base of the strong back that will pull it away. We do this slowly because you might be able to see we still have the lines that are carrying liquid oxygen to the second stage, as well as the electrical signal and the air conditioning up there in the payload fairing. We need to make sure that all of this easily stretch out and all the mechanisms works good so that we can recline strong back's position without tugging on any of the lines.
Stage 1 box load complete.
So right on time, we got the call out for liquid oxygen loading of the first stage is complete. We are now waiting for second stage that will finish up at just inside T minus 2 minute mark. Now currently we are getting inside 2 minutes mark. The range continues to be green and the weather, of course, as you see there, has cooperated. Again, if for some reasons we do not launch today, we do have a backup opportunity tomorrow, that is on Saturday. Excuse me, that is tomorrow on Thursday.
Stage 2 LOX load complete.
And fallouts to our countdown. Stage 2 LOX load is complete. All propellants are now on board the Falcon 9 with 1 million pounds of propellant. We are now beginning to vent down the pressure that was in the tubing of the strong back. That's why you can see the clouds coming out there.
Ground gas closeouts.
Fallout for ground gas closeout. That's where we bleed the pressure off, and that cold gas, when it reacts with the moist humid air, which gives you that nice white cloud, an indicator of launch coming up. Next event T minus 1 minute, we should hear the fallout that Falcon 9 flight computers are in starter and controlling the rocket for the remainder of the countdown.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Right on time, Falcon 9 flight computers on stage 1 and stage 2 are running the rocket through the last minute of count. Now let's listen to the go callouts.
Go for launch.
SpaceX launch director giving their go for the launch. We're coming up on T minus 30 seconds.
T minus 30 seconds.
All system continues to remain go for the launch of Falcon 9 and Starlink.
T minus 15 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Liftoff.
And we have liftoff.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Falcon 9 has cleared the tower. Now expecting some good callouts. T plus 40 seconds into flight, Falcon 9 on its way with 23 Starlink satellites into low Earth orbit. So power telemetry and propulsion is nominal. We are into the throttle bucket. We are throttling down 9 Merlin engines as we prepare for the upgrade of
nominal. Falcon 9 is supersonic.
Maximum dynamic stress coming up. We got the call out for vehicle being supersonic. We have exited Mach 1 on Falcon 9. Now Falcon 9 is
Max
faster
Q.
than a speeding bullet as we call supersonic. Max Q call out. We are through the period of maximum stress on the vehicle. We have throttled the Merlin engines back up to full power.
MVAC chill has started.
Right now we have started to chill down the MVAC engine on the second stage prior to its ignition just after stage separation. Coming up, 3 events in rapid succession. The shutdown of main engine on first stage, that is main engine cutoff, MECO, followed by stage separation and ignition of second stage MVAC engine. That will boost the payload into low Earth orbit. Now let's hear the callouts. Also to the answer to the question asked in the poll, so Starlink is inspired by literature. The name Starlink was inspired by
Nico. Stage separation confirmed. MVAC startup.
so we got the callouts, MECO, stage separation and MVAC engine. The stage nitrogen thrusters is now beginning to reorient the first stage and the flight computer has commanded the
Both vehicles are following nominal trajectories.
4 hypersonic titanium grid fins slowly begin deploying now that the stage separation is successful.
Fairing separation confirmed.
We got call out that the fairing has successfully separated. You are looking right now a view of the first stage. Continues under the power of 3 Merlin engines. During this portion of flight, stage 1 is using nothing but the grid fins for steering as it enters the Earth's atmosphere, and these grid fins orient the Falcon 9 during re-entry and they help to guide the rocket during its descent. Now currently we are seeing a view of second stage. We are not getting a good view from the first stage where we should be seeing nitrogen gas bursts for altitude control, and these are basically used to position the vehicle as it heads back towards droneship.
Both vehicles continue to follow nominal trajectories.
Good and healthy callouts for nominal trajectories of both the vehicles. Now where I was left behind, the name Starlink was inspired by the 2012 novel The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. So that's the question being asked on the poll. Now We are expecting stage 1 entry burn
Stage 1
call-out,
entry burn startup. Stage 1 FTSS saved.
and there's confirmation. We just lit 3 of the Merlin 1D engines on the first stage. You can see now we are rapidly slowing the vehicle down as it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere, and this burn should last just around 22 seconds.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
And there we go, that's confirmation of shutdown of the entry burn on the first stage. We got call out for the stage 1 FTS being saved also previously. The Falcon 9 first stage is equipped with 4 landing legs, and those are made out of carbon fiber with an aluminum honeycomb.
Stage 2 FTSS saved.
We got call out for
Both vehicles continue to follow nominal trajectories.
stage 2 FTS being saved. So the landing legs are placed symmetrically around the base of the rocket, and they will deploy just prior to the landing. Now expecting a call out for stage 1 being transonic.
Stage 1 transonic.
You just heard the call out. Stage 1 is now traveling slower than the speed of sound as it heads towards landing. Speaking of landing, we are just about 60 seconds away from that. Now the next expected call out will be stage 1 landing burn.
Stage 1 landing burn.
And there you have it. We have lit the center E9 engine. We are slowing down the vehicle
Stage 2
very
terminal
rapidly.
guidance.
Should be seeing those landing legs deploy any
Stage
seconds
1
now.
landing leg deployed. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
And there you have it. We have successfully made the 311th landing of an orbital class rocket. Coming up next, we will have the second stage engine cutoff, that or SECO, and following that we will enter into 45 minutes of post phase as the vehicle ascends to its target orbit. Looking at the chat, I would like to address Melly Didi.
SECO.
It's not fake. Although I respect your opinion and your perspective, but these are not fake. People are not just madly around seeing these things, and this is an engineering marvel people are appreciating. Anyways, but we all have our opinions, and I do respect your opinion. So coming back to the stream and those callouts we were waiting for, second stage engine cutoff, SECO 1, as well as the confirmation of nominal orbit. Today's landing marks 311th overall landing of an orbital class rocket. With that, we will wrap up our coverage for now. We would like to extend our extreme gratitude and thanks to Fairmaid, Poptripika, Millie Didi, also one of our new subscriber, Joe Carlos Vieira, and also our positive criticizer, Submarine Cop Pad. Thank you all for joining us. Now be sure to check out the social media for confirmation of Starlink deployment. We want to thank all of you joining us with today's launch, and we hope you will all enjoy the rest of your week. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Once again, thanks for joining us, showing your such patience, love, and understanding, staying till the end. We are glad to have all of you here with us. This is AstroYonder Live and me, Dipta, signing off for now, and we will see you next time.